Hello, my friends. Quick note before we get on to the show. Today's episode is a fascism-fighting, hyper-violent, high-octane, over-the-top kind of story. As such, content warnings can be found in the episode description. While originally planned as a Patreon exclusive, we had such a blast playing Eat the Reich that we just had to share part 1 of this vampiric adventure with the main feed. For the second episode of this 2-part series, head on over to patreon.com/DiceSized. Now, on to the show. The year is 1943. Europe is in flames. You are a unit of crack vampire commandos with a single objective: drink all of Adolf Hitler's blood and fatally destabilize the Nazi war machine. Welcome to DiceSized. This is a D&D audio adventure podcast where we tell bite-sized dice roll twice told stories. And today we are playing Eat the Reich by the very talented game designer Grant Howitt, with incredible art by Will Kirkby. Just an outstanding independent RPG. I cannot wait to play this. This is me, your DM and friend, Robert Whitehead. And with me, as always, is my lovely table of blood bags, soon to become vampire commandos. First up, that's my brother, George.
Hey, it's G. Beautiful day, isn't it?
You know what? It just might be. Is that a Cockney?
Technically a Hackney, but we're going to go with it. So
I like it. Whatever it is.
I am Cosgrave. Hackney necromancer taught by your aunt, medically dead, but still walk around and on the run from East London's undead mafia. Crooked as a 3-bob note and charming with lots of weird black magic tricks.
Amazing. So not just a vampire, but also somewhat of a magician or sorcerer, it sounds like?
A magician in ways. I like to put a little spell on those that I'm about to consume.
Interesting. I'm excited. I'm getting ahead of myself, but this is an ultra-violent game, and I'm excited to see how such a posh character, really engages with the violence of this game. Getting on to the next and poshest of people I know, that's my lovely friend, Maya.
Hey, it's Maya. You can call me Maya. Today I'll be playing Irina. She's posh. She is from Old Money. She's an undead occultist and bonne vivante.
Ooh.
I'm not going to pretend I know what that is.
Yes. Quick disclaimer up top. This game is 1943 Paris. I don't know French. I don't know German. And you know what? We'll do our best. So forgiveness to you, Maya, for however it comes out.
Forgiveness to every French person out there too listening, because I will be attempting a French accent and who knows how that'll go. But she is...
Bonne vivante. Hopefully that means what is a positive compliment here.
She is the black sheep of a well-established vampire clan and ancestral home. They were torn apart by the Nazis. Irina, as the black sheep of her family, provides a significant portion of Fang funding.
Ah, yes, Fang.
I pay your bills.
Yes, you do literally pay the bills of all their characters at this table. For Fang is an organization that was put together in secret 6 months ago, 1943. This is a time when a world is on its precipice, and Fang was a secret organization that put together a crack team of vampire commandos to make that domino fall. But the person who made my dominoes fall in life, that's my lovely wife, Savannah.
Sav here. I cannot wait to play through this story. Today I will be playing Astrid. She's an ex-fighter pilot bitten by something after a crash in the frozen taiga. Now, the parasite soul of a wild predator is nestled around her heart. Ancient magic flows in my blood, and the wild spirits bow to me. But if that fails, I also have a machine gun.
Amazing. So we got 2 very posh vampires coming into our story today, but then a third that is something of a
Dirty.
wild. Okay, I was going to say wild,
Hairy.
but
She stink.
I'm stinky and I like it that way.
love that character art of all of these characters, but Astrid especially. I mean, all of these characters just fucking rock. But guess what? That's not the end of our intros, folks. And with the greatest of pleasure, it is my honor to welcome our very first guest onto the show. He's a connoisseur of games and stories, an artist, writer, and warrior poet. Truly the most humble of experts in the anthropology of nerddom, from classic and treasured cartoons to obscure media, toys, or board games. He's got something interesting to say about it. Not only that, but he's been our #1 fan since day 0 of DiceSized. He's a creative powerhouse and our dear, dear friend on the Patreon. That's right, it's Cole Pizza.
DiceSized, giddy up now. Here we go. We got Yucky Chuck here in the flesh, or what's left of it.
Truly yucky. I can feel like I can hear the squelching.
We grew up on the wrong side of the tracks. Might have buried a sibling or two. Love cowboy movies. Honest work, human liver, and the wide open plains. Genuinely decent guy, apart from the eating people bit. Fang done pulled me out of jail when I convinced him, you get me out of here, you have yourself a surefire gunslinging, fun-bringing, bell-ringing, life-clinging, lead-flinging, qualified twice-dyed cowboy at your service.
Twice died.
Oh
So
my God.
we've got a twice died character coming to this twice told story today.
I wanted to know and I let him join because he would shut up if I did.
He's kind of handsome, isn't he?
You know what?
Fucking Americans.
Easy now, you ladies are feisty.
You know, even though not exactly posh, because Chuck, by character art, you've lost quite a bit of your skin, but Cosgrave, fully looking like just like a guy that you'd walk across in the street, and Irina too. I just love the dynamic variance of these characters. The fact that we have the wildest of wild, the poshest of posh, and now the tootinest of hootinest tootin'. But welcome, Cole Pizza. How does it feel to be on the show?
Wow, this is truly, it's an honor. It's a blast. I've been jamming out with you guys for a year, and I get to be here in the flesh.
What's left of it?
The flesh.
And Sav, and it's Maya. You can call me Maya, and like the all-time GM Robbie. So like this is it's a blast.
Thank you for those kind words. We appreciate every comment on the Patreon. And hey, if you join the Patreon and keep on commenting, you'll get my attention too. It just so happens that he's also just one of my best friends forever. But hey, don't worry about it. Let's get on with our show here, y'all. Before we begin, we have a quick overview of the rules, as well as some reminders about the tone of this game. It is a rules-light, ultra-violent dice pool RPG where our players will play pre-generated vampire commandos on a one-shot mission to drink Hitler's blood and fatally destabilize the Nazi war machine. The flow of the game will go like this. I'll describe the scene and the objective that our players will need to accomplish, and they will each take turns rolling handfuls of d6s based on abilities their characters have, equipment they may or may not choose to use, and any potential bonus dice from meeting certain conditions listed with some of their equipment, such as close quarters or enemies in cover. They got a lot of ways to kill Nazis, and some of them require them to do a little bit of narrative work, but it is on our players to do that. Our game includes a few key terms, the most important of which being objective. This is the number of successes our vampire commandos will need to allocate to surpass the current obstacle in front of them. The enemies that they face along the way will also have things such as threat, attack, and sometimes a thing called challenge. Threat is the number of successes that you guys will allocate to reduce that enemy and get them out of your way. Attack is the number of d6s I'm rolling back at you as long as they're around. Challenge is just a thing where you guys, despite whatever successes you roll, challenge is a negative modifier to that amount of successes. I'll explain all these rules as we go. This is new to us too, so don't worry if this is overwhelming at all at this point. And now you're wondering why I'm talking about successes so much. Successes is what this game is all about. Like I said, it's a dice pool game where our players are rolling d6s. A 4, 5, or 6 is going to be a success for our players, where they will then be able to advance an objective, right? We talked about that. That's the number that our players need to bring down to 0 to get through that scene. Or use a 4, 5, or 6 to eliminate a threat or defend yourself from attacks that I'm throwing at you. Lastly, some fun ones: drink Nazi blood or activate a special ability. Blood is our last key term that you need to know here. Our players will spend blood to fuel vampiric powers and heal from impossible violence. But most importantly, and above all of these mechanics, our players here today have just as much narrative control over the story as I do. They don't have to ask if there's a door. They get to immediately describe that there is one and just how they kick it in. That's pretty much it. Fighting fascism, killing Nazi scum, zero subtlety. However, with a story like this, safety tools become even more important, of which this game recommends several really incredible different types. Our table will be using lines and veils, and if anyone is at any point uncomfortable, we can always use our X card, which in our case will be holding up physically your fingers with 2 hands indicating an X. And we as a table will take a moment off mic, talk about what made everyone uncomfortable, or not talk if that whatever feels right for you in the moment, and reset as needed. You can find a list of the lines and veils as well as trigger warnings that may come up throughout this adventure in the episode description below. Our game also includes stats, which our players will use as kind of the foundation of anything they want to do. Those stats are as follows: Brawl, kill Nazis up close. Con, not constitution, but con, sway Nazis with lies, flattery, or charisma. Fix, repair or modify devices and structures. Search, investigate to uncover information. Shoot, kill Nazis at a distance. Stake, avoid detection and minimize disruption. Terrify, scare Nazis into compliance. And like I said, our players also have equipment, and if they use the last piece of their equipment, that will also count as an extra bonus. Additionally, one last thing about successes is that player 6s will crit, meaning that you get 2 successes for a 6, and I only get 1 success whenever I'm rolling against you guys. There are many different versions of vampires in media. Our versions of vampire very much resist categorization, meaning that you guys are just so different and variant, but they do have similarities. You guys are tougher, stronger, and faster than normal people. You all drink blood or eat flesh to survive. Or I would allow you, Cosgrave, to, do something magically, but we'll see when we get there. You also can't handle prolonged exposure to sunlight without immolating. And although you are medically dead, you appear alive thanks to blood magic, which is another fun thing I want to read off before we get into it. The blood magic comes specifically from Fang, which was formed in secret 6 months ago. As I said, this loose-knit organization of vampires, walking corpses, and morally gray wizards, and one hell of an administrative staff are the Allies' last chance at victory, as Hitler prepares to reveal some sort of new war-winning technology. A crack squadron of Fang commandos launch their final mission to crash land into Paris, drink all of Hitler's blood, and fatally destabilize the Nazi war machine, y'all. So let's go do that.
Yum.
And lastly, let me remind you that this game is ultra violent, imprecise, and over the top in tone. The focus is not on historical accuracy, it is on having fun fighting fascism and the chaotic carnage that happens along the way. Even the Nazis aren't important. And of course, there is no official acronym historically captured as to what Fang actually stands for. So my players, if you have any inspiration along the way, you let me know.
Fucking asshole Nazi gang. Well, more like
fucking anti-Nazi gang.
Fucking anti-Nazi gang.
I do not fuck the Nazis.
You don't, well.
They don't taste good.
I mean,
They don't feel good either.
they have a certain spice.
I like the chew they got on them. They're all fucking rough and tough from all that hatred.
Yeah, I was going to say, I find that the hate makes them sweet.
Yeah,
To taste.
I like it. You can kind of, you gotta almost like suck on them for a while.
Chewy.
Yeah, make a meal out of it.
Leftovers and everything.
We love me some chewy tendon and marrow. I don't know. That's the kind of story we're getting today, folks. But before we get to all the gore, we got to get to how we drop into the story. And that is literally as you hear the slow propellers of what in all rights is a heavy air carrier flying through the air. You hear explosions off in the distance as Commander Slate has gathered you in this airplane as you all prepare to drop. The year is 1943. Europe is at war. 4 reinforced steel boxes hang from the roof. Illuminated by the dull red lights of the bomber's hangar, Commander Slate paces back and forth on the steel plates of the plane's floor. The last 6 months have led us to this point. This is our final move. Your mission is to kill Adolf Hitler in the Zeppelin atop the Eiffel Tower. It's hot as hell down there, folks. Once you arrive, you'll be swarmed with Nazi scum until it's done and dusted. She walks over to a large lever mounted towards the front of the bomber. Godspeed and good luck. She salutes the drop coffins and throws the lever. The hatches open and you plummet from the plane towards the light of Paris at dusk. Does anyone have any notes about what your drop coffin looks like? All 4 of these coffins are plummeting steel boxes straight for the ground. Any notes?
The only thing that survived Astrid's crash as a fighter pilot in the frozen taiga was her helmet. And so now she sort of carries it around with her for good luck and she keeps it in her coffin. So even though no helmet is needed to protect her head in this instance, she probably wears it just for like the thrill of being in the air, plummeting through the sky once more.
Amazing. The pumping of the blood circulating through the drop coffin that like pumps throughout the technology surrounding you is just close enough to the thrill of a fighter jet engine. You almost feel as if you were back there in those times.
I feel alive once more.
Not quite, unfortunately. Any other notes as you guys drop?
Yeah, I think Irina, coming from old money, her coffin is very sleek, very fancy looking, and it has embedded gemstones in it. They're her birthstone, and she is, as she's going down, just kind of taking some deep breaths, meditating, and praying on her stones.
Amazing. Absolutely fantastic. As you have what is in all rights, what do you call that? Bedazzled? A bedazzled?
Yeah, fully bedazzled, but like chic.
I love it's like kind
Is that Swarovski?
I killed him for these diamonds.
Very cubist of you. It feels like it's very like gothic beneath, and then very just like posh on top. As you're plummeting, you feel the glinting of the dusk light. Uncomfortable to a vampire, it almost like dances around you, and you similarly have moments of thinking of times before this undead life as you plummet and consider the wild situations you find yourself in these days.
Yeah, she's pissed at the Nazis for taking over her posh life that she was living.
I imagine like a ballroom with similarly glinting, dazzling lights from a disco ball chandelier.
They help because they diffuse the lights, so there's not like one direct beam of light, so they kind of just go everywhere, so you can kind of avoid the light.
You've heard of Rayleigh scattering. Which is why the sky is blue, by the way. This is bedazzled scattering.
Yeah. Bold of you to assume we've heard of Rayleigh scattering.
I clarified, didn't I?
I do know that the sky is blue, though.
And this one is not, though, because it is cloudy with smoke and fog, as well as the aftermath of explosions and the dark of dusk. Has anyone else follows any other notes?
I think that my coffin is a box made of 6 cards, like a big playing card.
Oh, cool.
And I requested specifically just for like a house of cards as my coffin. But I'm inside, like with my legs crossed, one arm behind my head, and I'm killing a flower and bringing it back to life over and over again inside.
Cool.
When are we gonna land?
As a magician who doesn't just consume blood and the vitality that it needs, I mean, I would assume you have a little bit more control over. It's not like you could stuff blood, like any vampire could just stuff blood back into this flower and make it alive and dead and alive and dead. Cosgrave has a specific relationship with death, it seems.
I can do necromancy both ways.
Whatever that means. Anyways, our very last faller, Yucky Chuck, any notes on your drop coffin?
Yeah, Chuck's coming down. It's a fortified casket because the one he were first buried in didn't tend to hold him so good. So they buried him a little deeper and a little heavier the next time, and so they're dropping him in that. And it's kind of he's been doing this for a while now, so he's ready for another rodeo. And he's got his whiskey, of course.
Oh yeah, of course.
So Chuck's taking a shot on the way down, and he says the same thing he always says: "Falling swiftly through the sky, kill them all and drink them dry." Puts it down, and he's on his way, and he's ready for a rough landing.
I imagine you, for some reason, cheersing with the flask, some sort of picture.
Picture of my brother there on the inside of the
yes,
casket.
of
Yeah, I keep that
The
with
one
me.
you killed?
Well, let's not talk about that.
I can't hear you, young lady.
I do have a question is like usually in vampire lore, like human food makes you like excruciatingly sick. Is the whiskey like you just put up with the tummy ache it gives you just for the nostalgia?
Yeah, never not had much of a tummy ache since I done it. Woke back up 20 feet under.
I think perhaps one bit of growth that you've had as a vampire, Yucky Chuck, is the fact that, and Irina might be jealous of this because Irina has to put a lot of human blood into wine to experience wine like she used to.
Yeah.
Yucky Chuck loves whiskey so much that it just takes a drop and he can get into that bottle just like he used to. But yeah, there's a level that you got to infuse it, I think, with some sort of blood or flesh, but it's whiskey on top for sure.
I mean, I'm a lot deader than some of you youngins too, so, it don't quite hurt as bad as it used to.
Let me take you to the tavern around the corner. We can get some of that blood-aged barrel blood.
Giddy up, you little weird Dracula.
Weird Dracula.
I imagine this coming through like a scratchy radio in your drop coffins, as you all know that you have like 30 seconds before. And you all drop with such chaotic force that none of you are able to hold your form together. You splat on the ground, steel plates flying.
Hey, my helmet.
Where, as I describe the rest of the scene, where do you guys think, looking at the first 3 locations in Sector 3 on the map, where do you guys think you choose to drop as a commando unit?
I'd say the graveyard. It's very dark. We have lots of cover.
It smells good.
Friends,
Amazing. Okay.
Yeah, I reckon coffins in the graveyard shouldn't look too inconspicuous.
That makes sense to me. I don't know if it'll make sense to the funeral that gets dropped on as you see, well, you don't actually see it because your eyeballs haven't reconstituted yet, but the drop coffins also have technology where they have 10 blood stored in them. So now that is all drops out of these vials and cylinders that have been made in such a way and pressurized in such a way as to just spray it upon what is like pulps of flesh and clothing and equipment that is you guys. And in whatever ways you guys are injured, feel free to describe more specifically and graphically if you have any inspiration. But that blood heals you and allows you to reconstitute, bone snapping, flesh going back to where it needs to be. You know, every time this happens, it gets a little bit harder to put things back where they need to. But this time, Fang set you up with enough blood to just come right back. And what you find in front of you is a scattering funeral who all just look at you shocked. And on the coffin is a bright red, black and white Nazi flag as you have just dropped upon a Nazi funeral, and your objective is to ruin this fucking funeral.
I am not sorry.
I think, if I may,
Yeah.
my kind of semi-skeletal arm tends to kind of crawl its way over to find its revolver.
Amazing.
And kind of misses it. And right upon the time I can see it picking it up, I look over at the lady at the funeral. What likely may be the widow. Also a Nazi lover.
Yeah, it did look like she was doing really performative crying, which turns into severe, terrified crying at the danger that she finds in front of her. But yes, there's actually like a level of relief that you see amongst the shocked people who are all just like the sane people that want to scatter out of this, who have just been brought in by Nazi propaganda. But the family and the group of soldiers that are here for the funeral for whatever asshole this was, they're like around this widow that went from performative crying to terrified screaming as you look at her. What's the move?
Well, my undead arm happens to pick up my 6-shooter, and I look at her and tip my brow and I say, ma'am, right about time I bust off my first shot at that soldier there next to her.
Amazing. You see her eyes widen as if the bullet goes between them, but they do not. They go 2 feet to the side as it takes out the first soldier to her side. Well, we will see. What else are you doing? You added anything else on top of that?
I think that's all I can really assemble myself to do at this point.
That sounds good.
I don't quite have my arm even near me.
I love sticking with the fact that this is literally as you're coming back together, just your hand grabbing it. It sounds like you're using your shoot stat. So roll the number of D6s next to your shoot stat, along with any boxes that you're going to tick off for equipment that you have.
It's a 3. I would suspect we are not in a duel, as I have not presented it as such, so I will not be taking that bonus.
You know what? I would say since this is the very first attack, kind of D&D style, this is how like you might get ambushed as a rogue or anything. I'm going to take inspiration from that and say, yes, this is a duel, because you choose a single target and you make it one. You actually see the soldier that you aim at was like the first one lifting a gun.
Yeah, I was going to say, he would have shot you if you were quick enough.
It's like Han Solo, like Han shot first.
Han shot first.
Whatever version of Star Wars you grew up with, Han shot first.
You're losing an audience. All right, here we go. Reach for the sky.
Okay, dokie.
Amazing. What's that? Your face is telling me it was something nice.
So we rolled 5, 3 6s, a 4, and a 3.
What?
Holy shit. So
If
that's
I'm
2,
not
4, 6,
mistaken,
7
that's
successes?
7 successes.
Because 6s are crits in this game.
That's incredible.
Insane. Okay, so I will be rolling 2 attack back at you for this Nazi officer patrol. That is a 6 on the die, so that is 1 success for me back at you. So you, because of that successful attack, you've got 1 damage coming back at you. So you have 7 successes, 1 damage to nullify, and I'll tell you right now, the objective is a 9.
Oof.
Okay, so of my 7, if I allocate 1 to the defense to negate your attack,
Yes, you're down to 6.
Then I have 6 left.
And one thing about 6s, you have to allocate them in chunks. You can't split the 2 points that you get from a 6.
Gotcha.
So now I'm describing the 6
Yes,
objective damage that I do basically in whatever way I see fit.
exactly. And your objective, as a reminder, was to ruin this fucking funeral. And I think you're doing a good job of it.
So that arm stays there, and it kind of keeps shooting. I mean, it's got 6 shots, and I'm leaving that on its own while I run over to pick up the other one. You know, I kind of just I bend over and get my knee in and get it kind of back on where it needs to be. And now this one's shooting as well. Now I'm hitting this thing from both sides, and I'm saving a few shots for the casket, because he might be dead, but he might come back, because I done seen that before in the movies. I done seen that in the movies.
Absolutely incredible. Dropping that objective down from a 9 to a 3. Insane. I want to also say that I think as your kind of hand turrets are taking out soldiers, you have officers trying to hide behind the grieving widow. And as they go to hide, you're just making these perfect shots. Pew, pew, just inches away from her, just like as if this was a circus act, taking out officers around her.
It's her turn to experience some death around her.
Amazing. And that is anyone else up next. It's all of you guys acting against me. I'll kind of roll dice against you as a part of your turns.
Can I ask a quick question?
Yeah.
So we've learned the objective number. Are the shooters, do they have a threat rating?
That's a very good point. Yes, you are dealing with essentially 1 police patrol worth of Nazi scum, which is a threat rating of 4 and an attack of 2. And so since Yucky Chuck focused on ruining the funeral, you've still got that police patrol, which again, threat of 4, attack of 2.
And their attack of 2 means that they're rolling 2 dice
Yes.
against us.
And 4
of damage against us.
And their threat of 4 is the number of successes that you'd have to allocate to eliminate them as a threat.
The shooter specifically.
Exactly.
Cool.
Cool. Anyone else? This is a group side initiative, so you guys can just choose as fit.
I would love to go. I think my coffin specifically breaks apart before it gets to the ground.
Oh, so cool. Tell me more.
And the 4 metal, the made big pieces of boards that make up the coffin, like kind of stab into the ground by corners. You just see my body just splat.
Oh my
Like contained.
Yeah, just like I'm just like kind of like a sitting smoking position, and I just like splat in that position. Shit goes everywhere. And I imagine that a bunch of blood and bone starts to come together, but instead of congealing back into human bits, it turns into a bat in different pools. So there's suddenly hundreds of bats coming out of the blood,
Cool.
soaked in my blood, and then they reconvene behind one of the soldiers. So they swirl around the soldiers, and I think I want to roll like a terrify for that one.
Absolutely. That is so awesome. And I love how the way that you phrase the box opening, that's so magic trick to be like I'm Chris Angel and I'm in the sky for a moment, splat, and I'm back behind you, bitches. Amazing. Yes. Roll terrify and any other equipment that you might be using to do that.
Cool. And that this we're gonna only have what we have for these boxes, right? So if I want to hold back on any of the equipment, it would be
Don't hold back. You'll find you have that loot box,
cool.
which will always be any loot that you find away will be 3 boxes worth of uses, along with 1 condition that you and I can set together as you find those things.
So cool.
kind of making fun of my friend Yucky Chuck. I am gonna be like appearing behind him with an enormous knife and lick it, and then I'm gonna sheath it and pull out a shotgun and be like, I'm gonna try to do one of your. I can't do the accent. Oh, I can't do the accent, mate.
Amazing.
And I'm gonna shoot him with my shotgun, and if I can terrify and shoot.
You know what? Yes, you can stick with terrify. I don't think I'll allow you to use the shotgun and the knife.
Then I'm going to make it part of it then. So I'm going to just pull out the knife, lick it as I'm standing behind them, and the bloody bats reconvene in me. And I just want to scare the shit out of the soldiers.
Cool. Awesome. I think, you know what? Toss the shotgun, toss it all on top. And I think as long as you're rolling terrify, I'm down with it.
Cool. All right. And so that's how many die?
You have 2, and then if you're using your shotgun, you'll have 1 more. And then if you're point blank, which sounds like you are point blank, you would add 2 more.
So you'll be rolling 5, it sounds like, and I'll be rolling 2 against you.
Ooh, not good.
That is just 1 success coming at you. So you got 1 bit of damage.
I have 2 3s, 2 1s, and a 4.
Oh, damn. Okay. So this actually brings us to one really cool mechanic of the game, which is the flashback mechanic. At any point, once per session, and we'll be playing this over 2 sessions, anytime you roll 2 or fewer successes, you can choose to flash back. And we'll roll some things to see what that flashback was like. Then you'll re-roll that full dice pool and add 2 more d6 to it. Do you want to do that this time?
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay, cool.
Just for the sake of doing it.
Awesome. Let me pull up the flashback table here.
Did it work?
Give me a d6 roll here. And with this d6 roll, we'll be determining the flashback context.
6.
Ooh, nice. With a 6, you were sabotaging a field gun with improvised explosives. And now give me another D6.
That's a 6.
You won't let character insert, and I'm going to say Yucky Chucky. You won't let Yucky Chucky see you fail like this. What do they most respect about you? So this was a flashback where you were sabotaging a field gun with improvised explosives. Field guns, as we know in warfare, are ones that are set up like a turret that have just been stronghold points in a battlefield. To take them out means to turn the tide of a battle. So sabotaging that field gun was a massively important move, and you had Yucky Chucky staring over your shoulder, who's a quick hand with a gun, knows explosives better than you do, and you were forced to do this in the way that you do it. What did this improvised explosive look like, and what was this situation like where you sabotaged this field gun under the gaze of Yucky Chucky?
I think it's just Yucky Chuck.
Yucky under the gaze of Yucky Chuck.
Yucky Chuck.
That's all.
Excuse me.
You know, that gun's not going to blow itself, Yuck.
I want to see you get in there. I want to see what you can do with your hands.
It's not going to be my hands. Just take the shot when I tell you. And I'm going to run towards the gun. I'm going to turn into a bunch of cards, and then I'm going to reappear in front of the gun, and I want you to shoot right at my mouth.
On 3,
2,
1.
As you shoot, you take an amazingly accurate shot, and in this flashback and in real life, as in this moment, as this soldier and the squadron of soldiers aren't terrified of you, it's just because they're too stunned. They might just have to die, and you kind of set them up perfectly for Chuck's shot. And with that all part of this roll, re-roll that dice pool plus 2 more d6.
Cool. I think I actually lean back Matrix style as the bullet comes over, and I blow on the bullet so it starts spitting wonky, and it just like ricochets and kills all 3 of them.
Amazing. I see that so clearly in my mind's eye as you give it just the perfect spin to veer around in a circle, and you just like, as they're all perfectly set up domino style, like Angelina Jolie and Wanted, they're all down. Let's see that dice roll.
Awesome.
Daggone magician.
Nice. All right, that's 3 6s, 2 5s, a 4, and a 2.
Oh my gosh. So 3 6s is going to be 2 successes per 6. That's 6 successes already. And then how many is that total?
That is 5 total successes with 3 6s.
So each of those 6s are double successes. So
okay. So that's 2, 4, 6, 7, 8.
Oh my God. Okay. So I will also let you know about a secondary objective in this graveyard, one that has a bit of something perhaps for a couple of you. And as this game entails reducing objectives with 8 successes, the objective is obviously reduced if you want it to be. You have an objective of 3 right now and a threat of 4 with the police squad. Do you want to reduce all of that?
I think my card pieces of the coffin fall on the remaining soldiers, and the ones that I land behind, I just drink their soul.
Okay, because that's important, because you can either reduce threat or drink blood. So, because if you want to get blood out of this situation, you could spend like some of those 6s to gain 2 blood.
Cool.
But that's not reducing the threat, right? So
You could reduce the objective and the threat and still drink 1 blood.
I'm going to do
based
that.
on my math.
Yeah, that's what I was going to
cool.
do. Yep.
Reduce the objective, which is currently at 3. The threat is 4, and then you'd have 1 left over to drink a blood.
that is amazing. As you do that, you tell me what it's like as you do exactly that, scattering this funeral. I think the very last person to flee is the terrified widow as she runs.
You did roll, I think, 1 success against him.
Oh, I did roll 1 success against you. So if you don't nullify that, you will take an injury.
So you could, instead of blood, you could defend
I am going to...
or leave a threat.
Do we not have full blood currently?
You have 0 blood
Zero
right
blood.
now.
Oh, I thought we had 10 from our coffin.
You got 10 from your coffin, but it was all spent
that just
and
got us
used.
back to
it just
0.
It just got you back to life.
Okay. Got it. Thank you.
Undeadness.
Some of those are pretty serious. I'm gonna...
Yeah, I don't blame you.
I was like, oh, cool.
I might leave a threat or 2 up.
Yeah, I could lose a finger or 2, but then I saw the other ones. I'm like, oh, you can just roll any of those? All right. I think I am going to not drink the blood.
Okay, cool. And nullify that 1 damage coming at you?
Yeah, nullify the 1 damage and reduce the threat of the objective.
I love thinking that you nullifying that 1 damage is that bullet that would have come at you otherwise from Chuck.
And what sent me into the flashback, I think I do the same thing. I lean back from your bullet because we mistimed this a little bit, and I blow it up. And I think it scares the shit out of the widow again, and then it hits one more soldier that was running with her.
Yeah, totally. One last fleeing soldier as you have crashed into the graveyard. And like I said, there is actually a secondary objective here, but as that is your turn, I will describe that for Astrid or Irina. Who wants to go next?
Oh, depends on the objective.
Well, Astrid, as this funeral has been thoroughly and fully ruined, that is insane that you guys have just rolled and crushed that already. A secondary objective appears to you. You reconstitute and notice something about the spirit of this graveyard. It is turbulent, as many spirit fields that you feel are in the midst of war, which is why you, as a vampire, even if you have the need to eat flesh or drink blood, that doesn't mean you don't want the natural world to flourish and succeed and life to win out in the ways that it can. And here in this graveyard, this has become a German-only graveyard. Bodies have been removed. There is notably, as you look around this graveyard, as you reconstitute, one specific grave site that has like a number of officer graves there now that you see in your like spirit senses used to be a pet cemetery. It used to be like the area of the graveyard for all the animals and the wildlife of that were literally dug up and removed so that German bodies could be planted here, along with all of the many families of humans and individuals. But you right now as a character, as Astrid, are drawn to the wild that was at peace in this graveyard and is no longer. This has an objective of 6 and a reward. There's no threat against you, but it might go away if you're not able to accomplish it quickly.
You say accomplish it.
Yes. And I mean, reduce the objective in
Okay.
whatever way you deem necessary to commune with the spirit force, to otherwise find your grounding. The Nazi forces have scattered. They might come in reinforcements soon, but you have a moment to gather yourself.
I'd love to say that as Astrid is reconstituting using her 10 blood from her drop coffin, because she has that parasite soul of the predator that lives within her, I think that immediately starts to pick up on this residue of these spirits that used to live here. And as I'm coming back to life, some of those wild spirits are going to extend out and underneath the ground, almost like little search beacons to do some investigating as I'm getting put back together. I'm not totally in control of these spirits at all times, and I give them the freedom to sort of explore as they wish or as they see fit. So I'd love to know if they come back to me when I reconstitute, if they bring me the knowledge or the feeling or the insight of what happened here.
This is so cool. I say this metaphor in the coolest sense. This feels like a dog walker with literally 1,000 dogs getting to a park and being like, let go. I know that you'll come back to me because it's best for you.
Mm-hmm.
And as you let all these spirits be released into the world for just a moment, they kind of, that's what allows you, this spirit sense, to feel out and understand the turbulence. And they come back to you. And as they do so, they bring friends from this turbulent spirit force. How do you wrangle that in? How do you reduce this objective?
So I am going to use my search stat, and I'm also going to use my spirit fetters, which I wear often around my neck, and they're little detached bird feet, rather large bird feet that I often use to like lasso around things or use as
like a bola? Yeah.
a bolo. Yeah. Right?
Yeah, bolo.
Yeah, I am bolo man. So I'm going to use search with my spirit fetters. And since this has to do with animals, I'd love to use that as a condition, which gives me 3 additional die.
110% for sure. Yeah.
I'm going to use this fetters, I don't think I said, to sort of toss them in the direction of where I'm feeling all of this animal spirit energy to sort of give them a guide of where to go, where to investigate, where I'm feeling like the potent energy is coming from.
Awesome. Yeah, let's see those rolls.
Cool. So search is 3. Spirit fetters will be 1 plus animals is 3 more. I'm going to roll 7 die.
Nice. And again, 6 successes to get this objective down to 0.
Here we go. All right. I've got a 6, 6, 5, and a 4 as successes. The others are 2 1s and a 2. Sweet.
So with a
1,
6.
2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
Yeah, exactly. Amazing. Dropping this down to 0, you have gained what is technically called loot in this game, but this is just going to be an additional thing on your character sheet that you can use as equipment. You'll have 3 boxes with this, so 3 uses, and this is a spirit of the wild, which can take shape as a wolf or any number of wild animals that you might see in your mind.
Ooh.
And you will have the condition Nazi scum, ++ Nazi scum. So as long as you're doing something to add a Nazi with it, you'll be able to roll those bonus conditional dice.
So it's sort of like being able to use my spirits as a weapon.
Yes,
Okay.
you literally take the turbulent emotion of the wild in this graveyard and allow it to give itself shape so that it might seek the vengeance it wants.
You're safe with me.
And you just feel the vitality of this massive wolfhound kind of lumbering in a plain just outside of senses. But you know, you can call it forth into being at any point you need.
I am so sorry they disturbed your sleep. I know. Same.
And with that, Irina, you also notice a secondary objective, and that is within the many scattered officers, just the detritus that is left, you know, whether it's weapons or clothing or, you know, some very fine. They have used this city as a luxurious bit of opulence for themselves. Why shouldn't you do the same for their things? And you see a number of what look like almost like drug flasks, like someone might carry to like take a little hit of something on the sly. And a number of officers had these attached in different hidden places, like either on the under the wrist or on the ankle. But you find, or you at least as you're searching, have the opportunity to find these things. This is an objective of 4, and the objective here is essentially to loot this without breaking it, without ruining what it might be intended for, because these are like these delicate glassware and brassware flasks amongst many of the scattered detritus of the Nazi officers.
Okay, objective of 4.
Yes.
Can you describe one more time where are these things?
They're scattered amongst a bunch of different corpses. So
Okay.
like some of them have fallen and broken these flasks, and the first one that you notice is broken. And then you start looking at all these different officers, and they're all hidden very, very cleverly, like as if this is some sort of secret Nazi tech, some sort of serum that they all take to do something to themselves.
Okay, well, they're all dead, so I can't really con them.
I would take con in the way that this is. I would either take con or search, I think, because con to me is it's the reason that you're able to spot this in general, and I kind of just put that in the scenario. But con makes sense because it's like you're noticing.
You got the keen eye. Yeah.
These bits of eloquence about these people, which are all hidden bits of tech around them.
Cool. Then I'm going to roll for con. So I think to flavor this with con a little bit, because I do want to roll for con. So I have 4 dice. Irina, first of all, when she is reconstituting, her coffin lands and then the door just opens slowly. And all you see, because it's so well starched, is her dress that is just standing there.
Amazing.
And then she's kind of like reverse poured into it. Like she's like sucked up from the bottom, like right into her dress, and she'll kind of get situated and like look around and see that everything is already done. Like, is that too easy? And she's going to light her cigarette taken from the pockets of a hanged man and gain 2 blood.
If this inspires you at all, you have that terrified widow. She hasn't fully freed. I think the way that your coffin drops is just on the edge of the graveyard. So as she's running, you see she's like going to take a swig of one of these things that makes you notice this as well.
Are we considering her a civilian?
She's a Nazi.
She's a
Nazi sympathizer.
Okay.
She's a Nazi.
Get her.
Well, and I can only use 1 equipment at a time.
Yeah. No, you can use as many equipment as you find narratively makes sense for you.
Okay,
And as you
so-
guys have narrative control, put those in as you see fit.
Beautiful. She definitely still lights up her cigarette, gains her 2 blood, sees this widow running away, and will kind of like go really fast to like get right in front of her and say, darling, where do you think you're going?
Well, I mean, haven't you done enough?
There's never enough to destroy you and your Nazi scum. And you were fucking one of them.
Oof.
Gabagool.
So give me that. And she's going to grab the vial. And then she's going to, but for your trouble, and hand her a very nice gem necklace pendant, put it around her neck and say, I'm so very sorry for your loss. Do enjoy this token of our appreciation of your movement. And she's going to just walk away. And that thing that I just put around her neck was a concealed explosive rune.
Oh my God.
So the hope is that it blows her head off. And goodbye. Lights her cigarette and turns around as this woman just explodes in a gory cloud behind her.
Should have worn a helmet.
Yeah, right. So I'll be rolling 4 for con and then 1 for an explosive rune. And because it is a concealed explosive rune, I'm going to do 2 more d6.
So cool.
7 successes.
Way more than you needed. Objective was 4. So considering that you nearly double that, I will actually give you multiple of these. So you have...
I definitely have the one I took off of her.
You definitely have the one that you took off her. And because of this, you see how she's holding it and you realize, oh, this is something that they take multiple swigs of throughout the day. It not only needs to be in a hidden place, it needs to be accessible. And that narrows down your search and you're able to find 4 vials of what is experimental juggernaut juice. Never have you vampires ever come across as anything that could serve in the place of blood. And this does a little bit as you all gain 3 blood from this, or you can choose to save it if you would like to, or Irina, you're also welcome to hoard all of these things, but those each would give whoever drank it the vitality equal to 3 blood.
Gathering all of these vials.
Well, shucks, young lady, cheers.
Yes, we have a long journey ahead of us. Drink up, drink up.
Y'all ready for this?
I'll take a shot of the abscess, mate.
Salud.
Amazing.
I don't feel anything.
It's got a bite to it, though.
I mean, I don't feel anything.
You
It is
realize
nice not to have to chew.
it's nice not to have to chew. It's a thick drink.
It's viscous.
It's viscous. Yeah.
I just let me see, and I light a match, and I go. Well, I'm like, oh no, it works.
Yeah,
just a little fire breath, real quick.
This is definitely some good stuff. Nazi tech seems to have veered towards the supernatural because there's something special about this drink. It's not just like a chemical cocktail that makes you feel. This should not be serving you as it does, but you guys are just kind of getting hints that we've heard that Hitler's fucking with some supernatural shit and combining that with tech, and that's going to kind of be the end of the war if he's allowed to do so. This is the time to fuck that shit up. And this is immediate evidence that that is what's happening here. Some sort of supernatural serum that gets your supernatural selves going.
And it doesn't seem like there's any traces of real blood in it.
No, maybe perhaps the slightest, tiniest trace, perhaps like a scrap of DNA, but like as a flesh catalyst. But it is not blood, and that should be markedly weird to you guys as vampires.
What the hell is this? What was that?
I do not know, but the one way to fight supernatural is to be supernatural, which...
Tastes like absinthe.
You got that off of that lady?
Yes.
I'm gonna walk.
That was a risk.
I'm gonna walk over to her.
Okay.
What's left of her, darling?
What would you like to do?
I don't necessarily expect her to have more, but I just feel like if that's where this new source of life and newfound, rejuvenation came from, I got to go just check. I just got to check.
Awesome. You give me a search roll, and I will say this is the last roll. Otherwise, I'm going to start rolling reinforcements, and Nazis are coming in.
We have to get moving.
It's time to move.
I have an idea after this one.
Search is a 2.
Ugh,
2
good
just.
shucking your sticky fingers.
I'll say objective of 2 for the secondary objective.
I got a 4, so I just got a 1, and I got a 1, which means I get a blood.
Oh yeah, with Chuck. Chuck has a passive that he allows to.
Oh,
That's
cool,
awesome,
dude.
Do you want to share? No, sorry. Again, sorry to anyone who's French
So
listening to this.
what happened there is on my way over to checking the young lady, I did reach into that casket and grab out of just a chunk of that dead fella and just took a good bite out of him.
Nice, amazing.
And then I make my way over to with just 1 success. So
Well, with just 1 success, you don't find exactly what you need to determine where this might have come from, but you do find a clue, which is she's got like a business card or a pamphlet that has German tech, and then the rest of the paper is covered in blood and smeared off. But it's a pamphlet talking about the wonders of. You also see Wundervoll, Wunderwa. It's like Wunda and then another W. This came from somewhere, and they're touting supernatural tech and stuff. But with that, we have accomplished our objective here. Now you guys have to pick a new location in Sector 3 along your route to Sector 1. This adventure ends at the Eiffel Tower and the Zeppelin that hovers upon it, but we're still a ways out. So from the graveyard on the outskirts of Paris, where do you guys head next?
The catacombs.
Do we have to go through past the hotel to get to the catacombs? Is that
my
do it
question.
like? Do we have to do it like succinctly?
The book recommends 2 to 3 locations per sector. However, you do not
kinda
have to do
do it
that. You're
however.
like, yeah, it's because it's really like you might go to the hotel if you want to stock up on blood, right? Because it's very posh. You notice a bunch of like Nazi officers going in and out from that place. But if you just want to veer straight for Hitler, stay on the plan, stay low blood, Hitler's that way, and you know which way he is. So go as fast as you want.
Do it metro station or catacombs?
I like catacombs.
Catacombs? I would love to spend one of my blood and use Danse Macabre.
Okay.
And I want to animate a corpse to poshly drive us there.
I was going to say it's time to call a lift.
Awesome. Awesome. I will call this a secondary objective of 2.
Oh, and it says plus Hans, are you okay? So I'm gonna run up to a poor corpse and I'm like, Hans, wake up, love, wake up, you need to drive us. I go up to one of the soldiers that was shot and I like smack him on the cheek a bunch of times and like he's sleeping. And I make my fingers as if I'm holding a puppet.
Okay.
And I lift him up in the air like with just magic.
Amazing.
And I walk him over to the vehicle and I forget the keys, so I have to walk back and bend him over to pick him up. And I'm like, always forgetting my keys.
Yes.
And I go into the car and I'm like, is anybody coming?
It's straight up a funeral hearse.
Lovely. There's a casket in the back if anybody wants to take that.
Anyone want a cat nap in the back?
My speed.
I was doing a bit
Shotgun.
of magic. I'll take a lay down here.
Opens his
Sorry.
whiskey at least.
Bed's taken.
Open the back door, take a swig, and I slide in horizontal.
Amazing. Ripping the Nazi flag off of the coffin, rolling the whatever bastard was in there out of there, putting the coffin back in the hearse. You take a nap in there.
Yeah.
And with that, use Fix for me. And I think
Fix,
I think fix up this car and get it going, and have dude drive it.
Thank you. That's a 1 success. So
Ooh,
we're
that
not
is
gonna do it.
that is
But
just.
if he's got the objective down from 2 to 1, someone else
you're right.
could take a crack
Yeah,
at it.
you guys are driving, and again, you guys have narrative control over this too. But
Let me jump in here. I'm gonna hotwire this car. I'm gonna get this car started here. So I know a thing or two. I'm pretty good with my hands. Let me get my tool belt out here and I'm gonna jerry rig this thing. I'm gonna jumpstart this thing. So I got a 4. You can say jerry rig. It's written on the thing. I know it's
Ton of vengeance, mate. Thank you so much.
So I got this, bud. So we got a 4 plus 1 for using my belt plus 2 on account of I'm jerry rigging it. No, plus 1 more. So 4, 5, 6.
Also, your skin looks great today.
Push up.
I like this is like the keys you went to grab weren't actually the keys.
I hand Cosgrave my cigarette. Hold it.
I think you guys are actually driving right now, and like the engine just misfires, and you have Nazis all around. So like to stop it all would to gain attention. So Chuck just
Someone's got to reach
fixes
through
it,
the floor.
fixes it on the fucking fly.
So I do have 2 1s. So I do get another blood.
yeah, you get more blood. I think it's 2 blood,
Well, it's 1
1 per roll.
one per
Got it.
amount of ones
Cool.
you roll. Yeah. So
Awesome.
I'm stocking up there, and then I do have 2 successes. I have a 4 and a 5.
Awesome, more than enough to get the objective of travel
Get that
to
thing
where you
started.
guys want to go.
So we get it jump started, and then you got the corpse to.
Yeah, I think I got the driver. I forgot about the car.
Yeah, the car just like making a lot of noise. It's like backfiring as like it's spitting exhaust out the back, and then Chuck just does something, hits something right, shoots something into something, and that car is now flying down the road.
I'd imagined him leaning out of the window and pouring some of his whiskey in the gas tank, just like getting a little bit faster.
Amazing.
Little for me, little for you.
Amazing. You hear the nightlife of Paris, although as if subtly constricted, you just hear the held breath of a city under siege, occupied by the worst of the worst people who have made life hell for anyone who didn't go with their way of life. Where do you head next, y'all?
Catacombs?
Catacombs.
Because I don't control the driver well, do we just drive right into it?
Yeah, drive straight through the front door.
Like the front door, like blow through it and go down the stairs a little bit.
The stairs, because I've been to Paris, are really skinny.
Yeah.
So the car like wouldn't. You'd only get so far.
Oh, we
in.
just
Well,
get stuck.
we could fall out through the hole that Chuck made as he was fixing
Just
up the
roll
car.
down the stairs.
I like
down
that
to
we
the
all
catacombs.
just go through the windshield.
Oh yes, fly straight down.
The casket definitely
goes
goes through the windshield. Chuck's in there first because he gets launched.
Veering past the hotel and straight for the catacombs, you see Picasso sitting at the entryway of the hotel, confusing a number of Germans as to whose art belongs to who, which he actually did, and confused a bunch of Nazis as to like, no, this belongs to so-and-so. And while the Nazis were going around collecting art to safeguard it, quote unquote, Picasso so thoroughly confused him that he saved both his art and another artist. Either way,
That's all time.
you see that historic situation, but this is not a game of historical accuracy. This is a game of vampires and killing things. And you, as you all drive towards the catacombs, crashing in a way as to be flung out the front, you see that Paris is home to many tunnels, sepulchres, and forgotten mausolea and the like, natural places for vampires to hang out. This location is a major entrance to the underground network, and navigating to the other parts of the city will be difficult thanks to many centuries of disrepair and deliberate obscurement. With that being said, your objective is to get into and subsequently out of this subterranean labyrinth with an objective of 6 and a challenge of 1. You also, as your car crashes, you hear another vehicle behind it down a different tunnel heading into the same area. An armored infantry squad smashes against a tunnel wall, having heard of your entrance, and Hitler is taking no chances. You might be a threat, and he has sent a armored car after you. What do you guys do as this armored infantry car starts chasing you guys down? Are you guys on foot, or do you try to do anything with this car that you smashed into the catacombs?
We seem to be popular.
Can we use the car to block the entrance a little bit?
Get in here. Get in here.
I mean, you guys are allowed to do whatever you want. So it's just, yeah, your narrative choice.
What's the threat rating?
The threat of this armored car unit is 4 with an attack of 2 and a challenge of 1.
Cool.
And the challenge, what is the mechanic with that?
A challenge essentially negates a singular success. So 1 point of challenge minuses 1 successes that you might throw at whatever objective or threat you're trying to face in that moment.
So the catacombs has a challenge and the armored vehicle has a challenge.
Correct. So whatever successes you roll towards either of those things, -1 to those successes as we calculate it out.
And we can't ever negate the challenge.
No, unless you have an ability on your character sheet that says ignore challenge for etc. But
So it's just like a modifier and making it
correct.
more challenging, one might say.
Exactly. You got it.
Cool.
So is this a car chase, or is this you guys setting up some sort of ambush for the armored car as it enters the catacombs?
I think we get in there and set some traps and bring them to
Ambush.
us. They're after us, so
I
we have
think,
that advantage.
I wanted to immediately, if I'm imagining them behind us and they're going to be coming through the place that we've been already, I think that I'm going to spend 1 blood to use Phantasmagoria, which is going to conjure a illusion in the immediate area around me. And I want to make just the most gross looking, amalgamous, tentacled, beholder looking kind of bubble around us to everyone else. We're taking up the whole tunnel.
Cool.
And I want the eye of this beholder energy behind us, so it looks like it's looking at them.
So cool. Awesome.
Are we in the tunnel or sort of at the tunnel hoping they'll come into the tunnel?
I think you guys are a little bit of ways into the depth of the tunnel,
Perfect.
but there are many entrances. And at first it's just the sound, and it's a while until you see the light of headlights about which tunnel they're coming down, because it's just echoing everywhere. And as you just kind of find a good choke point, and as you said, these tunnels get narrower and narrower, you got to a point where you just crashed yourselves and you're like, they're going to crash too, so might as well set up here. And at this choke point, Cosgrave, your Phantasmagoria, it bulbously, fleshly, and magically enlarges to a size as to fill up the entirety of the tunnel, and like ethereal light mixes with the harsh light of 1940s headlights.
Yeah, it's like slimy, bloody tentacles and horrifying on the outside, but on the inside, as if I'm in a balloon, you just see me doing the wacky inflatable arm dance. Like trying to keep the spell going. And like, guys, I can only keep this going for so long.
Absolutely incredible. What do you want to roll to do what you're doing here?
Terrify, again, I think. Or con, I think, would be actually more fun. Like deceptive.
Yeah, I think Terrify fits a little bit better here.
Let's do Terrify. Terrify's 2 dice.
Yeah, because we're not trying to sway Nazis right now.
Right. Oh, and I think the whole time to keep it inflated, I'm using the special breath that I used to move the bullet. So I'm just doing the wacky inflatable arm thing going. And if I incorporate my backstory, I get that one nice.
That's not backstory. Well, I guess it is the backstory because that was the same breath that you used when you were in your flashback with Chuck. Okay, fair enough.
I only got 1 success.
Well, let's see what they have coming back at you with a attack of 2. I did roll a 6 there, so do you want to spend that 1 success to nullify that damage, or do you want to take the damage and allocate that point to anything else?
I will negate the damage.
Awesome. I think that's smart, given the fact that both the objective and the threat have a challenge of 1. You wouldn't be able to affect them, I think, in this case. And unfortunately, you've already rolled your flashback roll. That is still an excellent turn, Cosgrave, as you are, like you said, inflatable man dancing on one side, and an otherworldly, terrifying creature on the other side can be seen by the Nazis. The only thing is that it just takes one driver to press harder on the gas. And as somebody does, you do hear the screams of all the other Nazis within the armored squad as they echo out through the tunnel. That is going to be anyone else who's ready.
Yeah, I think Irina's going to follow up on this terrifying aspect of everything. And she's going to roll Terrify, as well as spending 1 blood to summon a swarm of bats under her control.
Oh, that is so cool.
And I get to add 1 dice to this because we're in an old building.
Yes, you very much are. I imagine now, scene-wise, we have just a Nazi like suddenly swinging his hands at a bat that's gotten in the car, like just out of nowhere. And Irina's doing something just a little bit further down the tunnel.
Dare I say, could Irina's bats call to the other bats that are inevitably here and create like a mega swarm?
You know what?
Big bet.
I will add a secondary objective in this moment of 2, that if you want to allocate 2 of your whatever successes you roll towards that, and then that secondary objective will allow you to reduce the objective by a D6 roll.
Ooh.
Cool.
If you get this secondary objective and spend at least 2 successes towards that, I'll allow you to straight up roll a D6 and drop whatever objective you want by that number.
Okay, cool.
Very cool.
So I'm going for more bats.
More bets.
Okay. Okay, old building, 3 for Terrify. Okay. That's 3 successes. So I am going to spend the 2 for the extra objective.
Okay, and 1 success coming back at you, so you got 1 damage at you right now.
So then I'll use my 3rd success to negate that. And I will re-roll a 6 to remove 2 from our main objective.
Awesome.
Nice.
So from the
Amazing.
Catacombs objective, that drops from a 6 to a 4. And with that, is there any other description that you want to toss on top with the bats as they just start to swarm the armored car that you start to, from outside, you see it veering at the very least?
Yeah, I think she starts to like levitate a little bit and just starts to just go forth and scare the Nazis. Come out from your crevices and do what you are made to do. Fly, my pretties, fly.
As they all swarm, coming from every crevice and tiny hiding place, these bats, not only made from your magic, but also made from the vengeance that is the Paris underground, rise to swarm this armored car. You see it fully blinded at this point. It's just smashing into the sides of the tunnels back and forth.
I'm hoping too, because she's elevating, that she's kind of like gonna elevate up into the air and then veer backwards because there's a balcony right here, right above the next entrance in the catacombs.
I completely agree. I was just going to say that you start to get like kind of echolocation senses of the entire catacomb structure as your bats synergize with the bat network and they start relaying to you exactly where you need to go.
Well, and you know, they're hanging upside down places. So one might just be like, oh, they're coming up from this hole. Let me just go up that way.
Just a matter of perspective for these little guys. Anyone up next here, as once more, we have an objective of 4 right now and an armored car threat that is a threat of 4 and an attack of 2.
Okay, so let me get a good idea of the setting. So we are in the catacombs very much so.
Yes.
Are there any Nazis yet inside, or are they still trying to get inside, or what's happening there?
You have an armored car headed straight towards you at what I imagine is sort of a barricade, because you have Cosgrave filling up the entirety of the tunnel, and they've just decided we're going to press on the gas, and this armored car is veering straight towards you. There's no other way to describe it than that. You got a tunnel and a car coming right at you.
If I might insist, if y'all would just duck in here for a moment. Just keep quiet and out of the way.
What is he saying? I'm up too high. I cannot hear him.
I don't know. I'm trying to keep my dance
He
up.
said to keep quiet.
Oh, okay.
We don't love that.
Oh, sole mio.
Singing opera suddenly.
The acoustics are great. in this.
Young lady, I want to set a trap here if you don't
Go
mind.
ahead, impress me.
Please go.
So I'm going to use my spider scurry.
Amazing. I love this
Like
game.
on the floor or on
I'm
the...
going to use one blood, and I'm going to scurry up here onto this here ceiling,
Oh my God.
and I'm going to wait for him to come in,
Amazing.
and then I'm going to get him. And you want to know what I'm going to get him with now, or do you want me to wait until they come in and show you?
I think narratively, you get to a point where you can ambush them right now. So you tell me how you take care of them.
So I'm a spider scurry, so I'll spend one blood for that, and then I get +1 because of the low ceiling. What would be in on account of the spider scurry? Would that be a sneak? It'd be a sneak?
Yeah, I'd say sneak, or if you want, if you're doing anything else.
Yuck. I hate when you do that, mate.
So I'm up there waiting for him.
I think you're setting yourself up to like ambush the squad as you see, the car is swerving and it's just about to get right underneath you.
Now that I'm up here, now that they're coming, now I'm going to hit them with the acid spit.
Okay, amazing, because you do have, as they spot you, 1 success coming back at you, so 1 damage. So is there anything else that you're rolling for your dice pool here?
Yeah, so we'll do the acid spit, which is, I'll do brawl, right, for that. So that'll be 3.
Yeah,
And
I take brawl or shoot for that as well.
Yeah, so 3. And then the acid spit is +2 versus metal. So what I'm trying to target is
Cool.
If they're still in the tank, I want to target the tank. Otherwise, if they're out of the tank, I want to target their guns
Amazing.
specifically.
You see like little slots and murder holes just wide enough for a gun. All these little murder holes start to open up and you see exactly where you need to.
Oh, dude.
Trigger warning, sorry.
I'll put it in there.
I do get a blood because of my 1. And I have a 6 and a 4 and 2 3s, so that's 3 successes.
Cool.
I'll use 1 to defend because
cool.
I took the 1 damage, and then I'll just use the other 2 to, hopefully I'm effectively trying to take out their guns.
The armored car has a threat of 4, so with 2 successes, you could drop them to a threat of 3, given the fact they have a challenge of 1.
Right, and that's what we'll go for.
Awesome, badass. Dropping the threat of this armored car, you toss acid on the hands and the faces that you see through these little murder holes. Absolutely perfect. The spider skitter, amazing. That is going to be Astrid.
Yeah, I am going to do more of this terrifying nonsense. I think Astrid is going to reach her parasite soul, is feeling really connected to the bats and the spirits that are underground here in the catacombs. And she's going to and reconstitute herself in just like a really offensively disgusting way, like to sort of shock and awe these
cool.
Nazis in this car and sort of maybe just stop them in their tracks and really gross them out. So I sort of imagined like a somersault forward, like a contortionist might do, or like someone at the circus might do, where you're like rolling like a wheel.
Cool.
But she's like, again, smelly, hairy, dirty. She's got teeth and bones and a frostbitten nose. And like, she is gnarly looking.
Amazing.
So I sort of just want to intimidate by rolling towards them.
Okay, cool. Yeah.
And sort of shake up their sense of safety. So I would love to use Terrify.
Awesome. I think that you absolutely present just a visage of the wild and the terrifying things that the wild can present.
Perfect.
Up out of the catacombs too.
Yeah.
Like how fucking creepy.
Like there's noises that my bot, like I'm squelching. It's gross.
Can I make the beholder throw her up?
Yeah, please. Slingshot me. Like, I love that.
You appear from the bats as the bats
Maybe some
separate.
bats come out of my mouth.
Yes.
Like, I want it to be absolutely unnerving for them.
Acid lands on you and it just sizzles flesh that you don't feel as Chuck spits on you from above.
Hell yeah. So I'm really hoping for at least 1 special because I have some abilities I wanna use here. Okay, I got 2 6s and 2 1s.
Awesome.
Oh, nice.
So that's 4. I am going to distribute all of those at the objective,
Okay.
which with a challenge of 1 takes the objective from 4 to 1.
Yes.
Then I would love to use unnatural endurance, which is my special, to reduce the GM's attack dice by 3. So I know the attack here is 2.
Whoa, yeah. I was just about to roll that. I don't get to roll at all?
You don't get to roll at all.
Okay. Awesome.
No attack, please. Does that mean that your attack dice are reduced by 3 for this objective and this threat?
Give me the exact wording one more time.
Yes, my unnatural endurance ability has a special that says reduce the GM's attack dice by 3.
You know what? Yeah, I'm gonna say that is role specific, because next round we would be foreseeably rolling new dice against one another. But I do think in this moment you're able to fully wipe away the opportunity for attack to happen back at you. What is that specifically like? Everything quiets for a moment as the bats have kind of been lost behind the speed of the car just slightly. And it seems like the Nazis have just like this tiny little bit of this moment of calm to peek their guns out and aim at you. And in that moment of quiet and calm, they see you.
I mean, these are people who believe that like the right thing looks and acts a certain way. And by being so horrifically the opposite of that, I just hope to shake up their constitution so deeply that they're like disgusted to a state of freeze.
Amazing. I think you smell it more than you see why they might not be attacking in this moment, as they all freeze in their tracks and soil themselves.
They shit themselves, fucking
And
Nazis.
they're still in the car.
Now who stinks?
They're still in the car. I think.
Now who stinks?
And I think the Terrify literally got them to like put on the brakes as you hear like the like hard stop of the car, and them all poke out and then suddenly freeze as they have this visage in front of them. And with that is the round top, y'all, which something happens at it. There's a mechanic called reinforcements in this game, and at the top of every round, for enemy units that are still up and active, I will add 1 to their attacks. And for any units whose threats have been reduced to 0 in that round, I will kind of resurrect them with half the threat rating, but that will be another squad coming in after them. But having not reduced any sort of units to 0 this round, it's just the attack of this enemy unit that goes up. As the armored car closes in a little bit more, they're growing a little bit more brazen. They're actually taking shots as they pepper the insane scene they have in front of them with bullets that do nothing, but do at least show you that they have a little bit of fight left in them. But you got an objective of 1 and a threat of 3 from this enemy unit, and their attack goes from a 2 to a 3.
Okay.
Right.
Who wants to start the top of our round?
Irina has an idea.
Go for it.
So from Irina's elevated position, she's going to pull out her exquisite hunting rifle that I got from my grandfather. It always shoots through. So she's going to aim at the driver of the armored vehicle and say to Cosgrave, "Duck, you idiot, duck!"
Amazing.
And she'll be rolling with
You see me lean back and put my hands behind my head.
So casually matrixing this bullet.
Okay, so I'm rolling to shoot with my hunting rifle from an elevated position. So I'm rolling 5 dice. Okay, so that's 2 4s and a 6. I'm going to use the 6 to do my special on my ranged weapon and reduce the attack rating by 1.
Oh, cool.
Nice.
Okay, so
Back down to 2.
back down to 2 for that attack, which I need to roll here. No successes on my attacks. I got a 2 and a 3 on my dice.
I'm going to use the other 2 successes to reduce the objective to 0.
Insane. Okay, so it sounds like narratively you guys are escaping away from a terrified, shot up, and fully psychologically scarred Nazi squad who are like, they're just getting out of the armored cars. They're looking for you. And then suddenly the bats dissipate. The magic is gone. And at first they thought they saw like someone skittering above them on the ceiling. And then there was just a swarm of bats and something creeping and rolling out from it all. And then in the shock of it, everyone is gone, and like smoke, this tunnel is just eerily quiet as you have all vanished. And if the camera were to just pan up and to the left, you might see the smallest of balcony gaps that they've escaped through and into a smaller subsection of the catacombs. And with that, you have thoroughly made your way through the catacombs, a place of dark and quiet where I'm sure your kind are at peace. And I think there is a perfect place to end our session, y'all. Part 1 of Eat the Reich. Nice job. Okay, y'all. Well, I got my stuff to say, and we will be back next time with part 2 of Eat the Reich. Listen for that when it comes out, because it's going to be a great time. And this was just part 1 of an adventure that ends with, again, drinking Hitler's blood and fatally destabilizing the Nazi war machine. Let's go, my vampire commandos. Say goodbye.
Adios.
I want to suck
Bang,
your
bang.
blood.
This has been a bite-sized dice rolled, twice told story told by yours truly, Rob Whitehead, and brought to life by my players, G, Maya, and Sav, and my fantastically awesome friend, Cole Pizza. To post about the show, use hashtag DiceSized. That's DICESIZED. For more like this, you can follow us on Instagram and find us on Patreon. That's patreon.com/DiceSized.
DiceSized.
Oh. Next time.
DiceSized.
Yeah.
Amazing, dude.
Wow.
It's like a baptism, only drier.
It's as wet as you make it.